Okay, legends, welcome back to the channel with another Overlord, Lord of Nazarick video. Now, yesterday we talked about a specific unit which is Yaldabaoth, and he's the tank with bleed that inflict a lot of stacks of bleed and will allow your enemy to go and drain their life with the bleed that they got with every single stack. Now, what is the best unit to play with him? Of course, another bleed character that we're gonna have in the future, which is, you can call it the warrior Lupus or wolf Lupus. It's Lupusregina, none other than her, and she's also a Garnet faction. We're gonna go and talk about it, and we can go to Realm of Shadow, to Perononcino, and we can find her in the very first fight. You can go and see the same comp that they play, which we talked about before. We have Demiurge as a tank, and we have Lupusregina here. We're gonna go inside and check how her speed is as well and her stats. Now, she's not on the highest level at level 1 here, or the stage 1. She's at level 70 something or 80 probably. So we're gonna go and check it together. So here we go. There's Penguin, and his speed is so low. His speed is low and her speed is low, so she doesn't have a high speed. She's a warrior. See, she's from Garnet faction. It means she goes and counters Emerald faction, and with Sapphire you can counter her. Now, what do we have? We have a buff here. It's Blood Congeal. Of course, we talked about it. It's an advantage upon entering the battle. You're gonna take it from Demiurge, which is absolutely fantastic. Her attack seems super high. She has good HP. We're gonna go and talk about her passives and how her skills will go and ramp up. She have a good set of skills, especially that works with bleed. So on bleed team, will be absolutely devastating. So Crimson Moon Waltz. This is her first skill. Everything about her skills are single target, and she does something similar to counter. We're gonna be talking about it. So Lupusregina attacks a single enemy target in Dance of Death under the Crimson Moon. Deals damage equal to 105% of attack. A hit grants 100 basic chance. This is what's cool about her. You're gonna see a lot of her skills says 100% basic chance. And we know basic chance, it's according to EP and ER. So the higher you have EP, the more that you have basic chance. The lower that the more that the enemy have ER, the lower that your basic chance will happen. To inflict 1 stack of bleed for 2 rounds. 1 stack. This is her auto attack, and of course this will be upgraded if you're gonna upgrade her skills. It will be 2 stacks of bleed or something like that in the future, but we still don't have everything about her skills. This is a sneak peek in the future. Take it with a grain of salt. We might have a complete change for her. Maybe she will do not only bleed, she will do burn. We don't know what will happen. The devs are crazy. They can do crazy stuff, okay? Wolf Blood Plague, and this is her passive. Her passive is decent. It will transfer the bleed, so the bleed stacks will not be gone forever if the unit dies, and you'll be like, I need to reset. So Lupusregina unleashes the Wolf Blood Plague Deathly Power. Now, why Wolf Blood? As we know, Lupusregina is a werewolf or a wolf or type of a wolf. She's an animal. So when Lupusregina is present, damage dealt to an enemy target with bleed increases by 3%, and this goes to 12% if I'm not mistaken, when you upgrade her skills or when you get her arc light or when you star her up. Okay, we still don't know here, but I'm just giving you the sneak peek. This increases, so whenever the enemy target has bleed, she increases her damages massively, so she can go and hit him more and more. Okay, when an enemy target with bleed dies, the stacks of bleed of that enemy transfers to another enemy with the fewest bleed stacks. So the lowest enemy with the fewest bleed stacks, or if an enemy does not have bleed at all and everybody has 1 stack, 2 stack, 3 stack, and you killed the one with the highest stacks because you focus them, these stacks will be transferred to that unit. Now, if that unit has bleed stacks and you killed this unit with the first unit with 10 stacks, the entire 10 stacks goes to that, and they will increase the stacks of bleed, so it will exceed 10. We'll be talking about that. So immediately trigger bleed after transferred by Wolf Plague, by the passive upon transfer, okay? It will trigger them as well, so they will take the full damage of the stacks of the bleed. With each bleed transfer from Wolf Plague, the upper limit of bleed stacks for enemies, everybody, increases by 1 up to 5 additional stacks. So if you transfer, like, let's think about it like this. You're playing against somebody that summons. Now, we don't have summons at all like in the game right now, but if we have characters that summon something, you put stacks on bleed on them, you kill that, and you transfer the stacks of bleed to somebody else. It will trigger Wolf Blade. It will increase the stacks of bleed on everybody by 1 additional, it up to 5 times. So you can go to 15 stacks, which is huge, to be honest. But you don't need only to kill them, because for each 8 times bleed triggers, this is her passive as well. And it goes lower and lower to 5. Every 5 times the bleed triggers. And on enemies, the upper limit of bleed stacks will increase on enemies by 1 up to 5 stacks. So it will go to 15 stacks, even if you don't kill them. When every time the bleed triggers, so when they take their turn, their bleed triggers. If you kill somebody and the bleed transfer, the bleed triggers. When she hit with her ultimate, she triggers the bleed. This is the things about Lupusregina. And if you're playing another unit that triggers bleed, like Demiurge, Tank Demiurge, or what you call him, Yaldabaoth, he will trigger bleed as well. So you will go and give another stack of bleed upon on top of the enemies. They will get to plus 15, which will make it a huge deal for you, actually, because every single stack will allow you to deal extra damage, or everybody that has bleed will allow you to deal damage, and every stack will deal a lot of damage because it's based on her attack. If you're gonna go and read it, a debuff that deals indirect dot equal to 25% of the inflicted attack. It can be stacked up to 10 times, and we know the condition here. It goes to 15 times. So 25% time is 15 stacks, which are huge, okay? So, Scarlet Fang, which is her second skill. Lupusregina bears her fangs, attacking all enemy targets. So this is an AoE, launches a 2-hit attack, dealing damage equal to 40% of attack. Each hit has a 75% chance to inflict bleed. Also, her second skill as an AoE should be lower. They gave her 75%, so her EP or her chances are high. You don't actually need to build her on full EP. Maybe crit rate, crit damage, and attack are the best things to go, and damage boost to go with her, so you can increase her damages. But attack is the most higher stat that you want to build her on. Why attack? Because her bleed scales off of her attack, and you want, as long as they have this bleed to pop, and they take the most damages. Her ultimate, Night of Hunting. Tremble Prey, the hunt is on. Lupusregina unleashes a vicious attack on a single enemy target. Launches a 3-hit attack. Each hit dealing damage equal to 70% of attack, which is great actually. This is 3 times, so 3 by 7. That's almost 210% of attack to one single target, which is great. Each hit has a 75% basic chance to inflict 1 stack of bleed up to 2 rounds. Using this skill has a 100 basic chance to inflict Wolf Blood Mark and Healing Block on the target for 2 rounds. Now, Healing Block, they cannot heal. We know that. It's absolutely huge, by the way. Wolf Blood Mark. So, a debuff that cannot be dispelled converts 30% of the bleed damage taken by the marked target into healing for Lupusregina. So it does not mean if she attack them and they have the wolf blood, she will heal. No, it means every time their bleed will trigger, 30% of the damage that they take from this bleed will transfer into Lupusregina, so she will heal herself. After the target with wolf blood mark takes an action, Lupusregina launches Scarlet Wrath at the target. You will ask me what's Scarlet Wrath? TLDR, she will go and counter them, or she will go and attack them every time. If they have the wolf blood mark and they do an action, she will go and attack them, okay? And the attack is huge. This damage equal to 75% of attack. That's almost her first skill. A hit that has 100 basic chance to inflict 2 stacks of bleed upon hitting the target for 2 rounds, which is actually crazy. This makes her super crazy, especially if you play her with this set. Now, many people told me we prefer to play her with Vert Mare. I was asking why. They said that because they want to decrease the cooldown of the ultimate. It goes for 1 round. As you see, it's 2 round her ultimate. You can make it 1 round with Vert Mare set, so you can go back to back attacking with her ultimate and then inflicting everybody with wolf blood mark. So every time they're gonna go do an action, she's gonna go and attack them, which is absolutely perfect in this case, especially if you play her on a counter team with full bleed. Like if you play Yaldabaoth and you play Wolf Regina, and if you play Isekai on the same lineup, wow, this team will counter like crazy. Maybe you play Brain right now with our meta. You play Brain with them. You don't need healing. She heals self-sustain with herself. Demiurge is a tank to heal himself as well. And Isekai will let everybody heal with his passive. And you have Brain for ensuring more counter. You play with them, Touch Me maybe, and you can use his AoE for healing. And here you go. You have a full team that is protective. You have healing, you have shields, you have everything. And you can go and wipe clear your enemy. You're auto attack and counter anyway, and she's gonna double the counter. So it means she counters if she gets attacked, and if they have wolf mark, she will attack again. So she have double the times to go and attack. I see big potential, especially for our meta for counter right now. If they do release her as the unit that is next, and this is what we're thinking about tomorrow or Monday, Maybe not Monday because they dropped us the double banner for summons right now. But what I heard, it's not from me, it's from other players on other discords. They were talking about on Monday we're gonna get a limited character, and I don't know if we're gonna get this limited character as Lupusregina. I don't know, but this is what they were hinting for. So take it with a grain of salt. Maybe nothing will happen, but this is only the news that I can bring you, and I hope for the best. We all hope for the best. And yeah, that was it for the video. I'll be seeing you in the next one.